Okay guys, today's the last day of review. So on Thursday is your mock STAAR, but you guys have been working really hard and studying, so I know you'll do great. So we're going to be looking at your half sheet, and we're going to start out where it says Dax charges $7 per mile traveled along with a base fee of $2 when he delivers a bed from the furniture store. The total charge the Wilson family receives for his services is $65. How many miles did he travel to deliver the bed? So let's go through and see. So it's asking how many miles. So how many miles, how many miles did he travel? And it says he charges $7 per mile. So per means what? Multiply, good. Along with a base fee of $2. So base fee is what? Adding $2. So if we didn't know what type of problem this is, what type of problem does it remind you of? So my hope is everybody said a linear relationship problem where we know that y equals mx plus b. So what is m? M is the rate of change, so it's what it needs to be multiplied by. So 7x, and b is always going to be your one-time fee, base fee, and it's added. So it says here base fee, so plus 2. And y stands for the total, right? So the total cost is going to be 7 times the number of miles plus the $2 base fee. So it's telling us here that the total charge that this family receives is $65. So since it's total, we're going to plug this in for total. So 65 equals, going to keep our equation, and it's asking for how many miles. So since I did per mile, I know that that's matching up. So I'm looking for what is x when y is 65. So to solve it, I'm going to draw my line down the equal sign. I'm trying to first get 7x by itself. So I need to do the opposite. So minus 2, 63 equals 7x. Now I'm working to get x by itself, so I'm going to do the opposite. Right now I'm multiplying 7 times x, so now I'm going to divide to cancel those. Divide by 7, and 9 equals x. So they traveled 9 miles, so that's going to be A, to have their bed delivered plus the $2 service fee. Okay, so next problem. I'm going to change the colors so you guys can see a little better. So a wallet contains different coins, 6 pennies, 5 dimes, and 10 quarters. A coin will be randomly selected from the wallet and replaced. Another coin will be randomly selected from the wallet. What is the probability that a penny will be selected both times? So we're looking for probability, so we know what type of problem it is, probability. Probability of penny selected both times. So first of all, if we're doing the probability of 2 events, so this is a compound event, we need to see if it's with or without replacement. So a coin is randomly selected and replaced. So that means our total is going to change or stay the same. If it's replaced, that means our total will stay the same. So we're looking for the probability of a penny. So how many pennies are there? So favorable outcomes over total number of outcomes. So favorable outcomes, pennies. So there's 6 pennies over how many coins? 10 plus 5 is 15 plus 6 is 21. So 6 out of 21 pennies. And that's the probability of choosing it once. But what's the probability of choosing a penny a second time? Well, if it's replaced, does that change? No, so the probability would be the same. So 6 over 21. So first of all, I'm going to see, can I simplify my probability? So I know 6 is divisible by 2 or 3. Is 21 divisible by 2 or 3? Well, not 2 because it's not an even number. And it is divisible by 3, so I'm going to divide by 3 over 3. And so I get 2 over 7. Now be careful because that's an answer choice. But what we need to remember is if we are finding the probability of a compound event, which means one event and then another, we need to multiply the two probabilities. So 2 over 7 times 2 over 7. When we multiply fractions, we multiply numerators and then the denominator. So 2 times 2 is 4. 7 times 7 is, oops, I don't know why I wrote that. 7 times 7, you guys know, is 49. And can I simplify? No. That's already simplest form, so my answer is C. Okay, so this next problem, it says which equation best represents the relationship between x values and y values in the table? So first of all, we can see from our answer choices that we are looking at another linear relationship because they're written in the form of y equals mx plus b. So we know that b is what? B is our y-intercept. And what is m? Our rate of change. So how do you find the y-intercept? So the y-intercept is the value of y when x is equal to 0. So 0, y. So do I see x as 0? I see it right here. So y is negative 5. So I know that b is going to be negative 5. And then m is our rate of change. So how do you find your rate of change? Good. Change in y over change in x. So change in y. So to find the change in y, you always need to take the second number minus the first number. So I'm going to do 15 minus negative 5. Minus a negative becomes plus a positive, and you have a difference of 20. And it needs to be going at a consistent rate. So 35 minus 15 is 20, and 55 minus 35 is 20. What about over here? 4 minus 0 is 4. 8 minus 4 is 4. 12 minus 8 is 4. So the rate of change, oh, sorry, I don't know why I keep hitting that. So the rate of change is going to be 20 over 4. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So I'm going to plug that into y equals 5x minus 5. So do you have a match? Yes, C is a match. Okay, so a shipping box is shaped like a rectangular prism. A box is 1.5 meters wide, 6 meters long, and 8 meters tall. What is the volume of the box? Okay, so first I'm going to go ahead and draw my box, because always we want to draw a picture. It helps us out. Okay, so you guys tell me, remind me, where is length, width, and height? So you want to think about it in that order, right? We're going to have length, width, and height. So now that we know that, we can label it with the problem. So it says the box is 1.5 meters wide. So I'm going to go over here to width and put 1.5 meters. 6 meters long, and 8 meters tall. So what is the volume of the box in cubic meters? So volume, we're going to take a look at our handy dandy formula chart. We need to be super comfortable with that for Thursday. So find the bolded area that says volume. There's two formulas. One is for prism and one is for pyramid. So which one are we going to use? That's right, we're going to use the prism because this is a box. It has two parallel bases and all of its sides do not come up to 1 point like in a pyramid. So we're going to use the formula for volume of a prism. So volume equals area of the base times height, right? Big B stands for area of the base. So next thing we need to do is color in the base. I'm coloring my base. And that's what I'm going to focus on next. So I'm going to put the area of the base. So area of the base, so it's a rectangle. So how do I find the area of a rectangle? Just base times height. So now I'm going to plug in. Now, remember, I'm just looking at the part I shaded in. So the base is going to be 6 times what? I'm hoping you said 1.5 and not 8, because 8 is nowhere near what we shaded in. So go ahead and do your math. Press pause, guys. Okay, so we all should have gotten 9 for the area of the base, so I'm going to plug 9 in, and then I'm going to go ahead and multiply it times the height of the prism. So height of the prism is 8. So 9 times 8 is 72. Good. So one thing is to focus on, that you need to focus on, is place value. So if it does not have a decimal point, where should it go? So then the decimal point's to the right. So I'm going to put my 72 meters cubed, and I'm going to put my 7 here and the 2 there, because if it doesn't show it, the decimal's right there. So 72, I'm going to make sure that I grid it in, my 7 and my 2, and out of habit, guys, you should just get in the habit of saying, okay, I need a sign on it. It's going to be positive, because if you don't, you guys are going to forget that negative. You can do all the math right, because you're so smart, and you're just going to forget to put the negative. Okay, last one on here. So 90 people visited a car wash in one day. 1/3 of the people drove convertibles, 1/5 of the people drove trucks, and the remaining drove minivans. What fraction represents the number of people who drove minivans? So if we're looking for a fraction, let's just deal with a fraction. So if we're thinking about this, so it says the remaining. So that means that the leftover from these two is going to be there. So the total would be what? The total would either be 1 or 100%, right? So we're saying that 1/3 plus 1/5 plus, let's say this is x, x will equal 1, right? So first, if we're adding fractions, we need a common, what? Common denominator. So 3 cannot become 5, 5 cannot become 3, so we're going to have to multiply them. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply and find a common denominator. You guys do it as well. Okay, so we got 8 over 15, but now we need to find what is left over to make it a whole. So we need to subtract it from 1. Okay, so I knew that 1 could be 1 over 1, so if it can be a number over itself equal 1, I can make 15 over 15 equal 1. I'm subtracting the 2, the convertibles and the trucks, to find my remaining minivans, and I got 7 over 15. So that's going to be B. Alright, I know you guys don't like adding and subtracting fractions, but don't forget your common denominator. Y'all will do great. Keep studying.